Sam the Busker's Dog, Chapter 2, On the Streets. They say that owners look like their dogs, but that doesn't apply in my case. I am a very beautiful dog, incredibly imperial and rather stunning, and my master doesn't look like me at all, especially when he wears a funny cloth thing on his head and two dark things over his eyes. He looks rather comical, and I am not comical at all. I'm a classy canine creature, even in my coat. In fact, I am so handsome that my master was once asked by a lady in the street who stopped to listen to his music if I would be a stud dog. She offered my master £750 if I could make her Cavalier bitch pregnant. My owner had to decline, saying she was 8 years too late. I am far more popular on the streets than my master, and people find me totally irresistible. But we do share one thing in common, my master and I, and that is middle age. We are both approaching the last lap of life, but that doesn't stop us getting out on the streets. Now, a bit about my master, Don, or Donald, although he doesn't like being called Donald. He plays a machine which he has to work hard to push in and out, called an accordion, and a very loud sound comes out of it. When my master is pumping his machine in the streets, people come and throw round metal discs into his accordion box, and he gives some of it to a charity, because I am a therapy dog. Now, my master likes to do things proper, and so he was keen to get his Busker's badge to show he is a bona fide street musician. This means he will move on if asked by shop owners and be polite and obliging. And it also gives him an identity, because all humans have to have an identity. Otherwise they shrink inside and do not know who they are. In addition to the machine which he has to pump, he also sits in another machine called a wheelchair. It's electric, and I am trained to heel with it. When the wheels go, so do I. I say trained, but in reality, you can't train a Cavalier King to do anything, unless you bribe us with food, or we choose to do it, as my friend Dougal here demonstrates. So, the truth is, I am being accommodating of a human quirk to travel in tandem with moving wheels because I choose to. Sometimes, though, I choose not to, especially if we are going up a hill. Then my master has to ask a passerby to lift me onto his lap, and I get a ride. My master doesn't always go on the streets, but when he does, I know it from early on because the trolley comes out. The trolley signals that we are going for a day out on the streets, and I get quite nervously excited with anticipation, but a little tense in case he forgets me. So I make my presence known by getting under my mistress's feet so that she puts on my lead and coat so I am ready. I sometimes wear a bright yellow therapy dog coat. Unless it is cold, then I wear my green coat. And then my master can get into coffee shops with me when he takes a break, because I am a therapy dog. The excitement starts with a bus ride to Paignton, Brixham or Dartmouth, or sometimes Torquay. Sometimes there is no room on the bus for my master because pushchairs are in the disabled spot, and we have to wait for another bus. When we can get on the bus, my master has a real struggle with his trolley and has to trouble the bus driver to get the lift down for his wheelchair. I get on the bus as quick as I can, and I go sniffing in people's bags because my owner has let go of my lead. I like being liberated. I also get stroked behind my ears quite a bit while I do this by the passengers. My master gives me a new and special name on the bus. He calls me Liability. This is because I am such a clever dog and insist on going to get strokes from people on both sides of the bus and get my lead all tangled. And people who want to get off the bus play a funny game of trying to step over my lead. People's bags are so interesting because the smells are splendiferous, especially if there is food in them. I get told off if I sniff in people's bags, but I just can't help it. Of course I can't. The smells go to my tummy where my juices are. Sometimes my master is a bit of a clown on the bus, but the people like it, especially when he wears a silly red hat and a white beard pretending he's Father Christmas. Once he got out his flashing whistle, which he started to blow. It was also a torch, and everyone on the bus thought he was potty as he flashed and blowed it. But it gave the people tickles in their tummies and it made them laugh. When we get off the bus, my master chooses a suitable place to play, and he puts out my rug and water. Then he sets himself up and pumps his accordion. I get many strokes and loves because I am such a cute pooch. I lap it up. Well, of course I do. It makes me feel good. One day when we were out in Paynton, my master decided to move to a different spot where all the holidaymakers were. So he packed up all his stuff and we headed toward the sea. But the wheels of his trolley suddenly stopped going round and we were stuck in some metal tracks. And when the trolley got stuck, so did I, because my master was also stuck. We were all stuck. Then a loud sound came into my ears. Dee-da, 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 dee-da. And my master started shouting, "Help! Help!" very loudly. Then a lady scooped me up in her arms, leaving my master behind, shouting even more loudly, until some men helped him, just as a red and white barrier came down and almost hit my master's head. After that, we went into a nice coffee shop where I was given a biscuit, and my master recovered with a good strong coffee. Whenever I smell coffee, I know there are biscuits. That was a bad day though. When we came out of the coffee shop, I started to get wet with rain. I do not like getting wet. So I had a good shake, piddled on a wet paper bag, and we made for home early.